our team, our community. This is CondorsTown, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
Better late than never is what they always say, and welcome to another edition of your Condors Connection. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3, the other side of the screen. Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm back home and ready for 2 games this weekend.
So normally we talk on Tuesdays, but today or this week you were kind of on a bus, so we figured bus was probably not the best way to try to do this. So
we were watching Days of Thunder though. It was pretty good. That would have been entertaining.
Wow, Tom Cruise would be proud of you, sir.
Yeah, it's Cole Trickle.
Let's go and talk as we always do. We always talk about the parent organization. Of course, this week is a big week when it comes to the NHL, as we were talking about trade deadline, which is tomorrow at noon our time. And already a big trade came down yesterday. I almost wore my Ducks jersey today, just like to like be buddies here. But Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick for the Anaheim Ducks are going to Edmonton. And you know, when we get towards the bottom part of the season, that's when all the interesting things happen, and definitely some interesting things yesterday. Yeah,
I think you get 2 players from Anaheim, that kind of fill a role, especially down the middle. Carrick is he's a third or fourth centerman, who provides energy and kills penalties, and Henry kills penalties too, and can kind of play in that top 6. So, I think from an organizational perspective, it fills 2 holes at the NHL level, but it also, you don't lose anything at the AHL level. I know the first round pick for next year or this, upcoming summer is gone, but that player doesn't get to Bakersfield for 4 years.
No.
And doesn't get to the NHL for like another 5. And by that time, Connor might be retired. No, I'm just kidding. But that's kind of how you have to look at it. Like,
right.
The value of these picks right now for where you are competitively, and especially that pick, right? Like it's going to be a bottom 5 first round pick, right? Like, I mean, the way the Oilers are playing. So, not only does it help the big clubs, so Carrick and Henrique are 2 NHL players right away that Phil needs at the NHL level. Because of that, Dylan Holloway and Sam Gagner were waived, so they're coming to Bakersfield. So that adds 2 bodies in the CondorsTown now. So from a Condors perspective, and knock on wood, we still got another 26 hours here, but it's okay right now. There's, no real shakeup. We're adding pieces. We're adding a guy like Dylan Holloway and Sam Gagner, who's had 1,100 NHL games. And we're adding Dylan Holloway, a first rounder, who's a point per game guy in this league. So all in all, not bad for Bakersfield right now. And again, that can change. Things can move, but I think if you're looking at it from an Oilers perspective, they got better yesterday. And if the Condors get Gagner and Holloway, they've gotten better too. So,
well, once again, Ryan, you're really good at reading my notes before we get to that part. So we'll talk about that in a moment here. Let's talk about, like you said, about 26 hours left between now and when the deadline, which, let's be honest, adds a couple of extra hours, because if you get the call in before then, it still counts. Are you seeing any further movements with the Oilers when it comes to that?
Ken kind of mentioned, Ken Holland, the GM of the Oilers, kind of mentioned that, they're still looking at a depth defenseman, someone at the NHL level. And I don't think that person comes with trading a player. I don't think. I think they can do that without having to get rid of a player. I think I don't know how many draft picks they have left, but they'll trade them. So I think, I think it's, if you're getting a 7th defenseman, 6th, 7th defenseman, a guy to fill a role at the NHL level, I don't think that's a player necessarily going out. So, it's a positive again. So if they add another piece now, waiving Holloway and waiving Gagner, that gives them $2.2 million. That's without trading a player. So I don't know. Maybe they're not done up front. Maybe they saw what Vegas did and getting Hanifan and, and what Vancouver's trying to do and what Colorado did, getting Middlestat and company and Walker on the back end. So, maybe they're not done. Maybe they thought everyone was going to kind of stand pat. Now they didn't. And you're kind of like, well, let's take a peek here. So they have the room to do it. It's just a matter of what they want to do here over the next 26 hours.
Once again, one of the things that happens every single year, it goes without fail. Some creative accounting always happens. So we'll see
that's why one of the assistant GM roles is specifically done for salary cap purposes, and that's Bill Scott. He's a master of it. He knows the cap rules back and front. He knows every penny that this organization will have, and you need a guy like that. You need a guy that knows, hey, here's how this can work. And now, especially what you're seeing too is a lot of third teams are jumping in, so you're trading guys through like a long maze to or retain salary.
Like even with the Anaheim trade, I mean, Tampa Bay came into play.
Yeah, technically, the Oilers acquired Carrick and Erik through Tampa Bay. Like that's the trade, right? Tampa Bay traded Erik and Carrick, and that takes a lot of coordination. I mean, it's not an easy job. You can agree to it in principle, and then you got to go out and find a partner. And Tampa kind of facilitated it.
Let's go and jump over. Once again, you already read my notes, so we'll try to catch up as quick as we can here. Holloway and Gagner coming to Baco, actually adding some excitement here with the Baco Birds. And
I think they're here to stay, right? Like, I mean, it's after the trade deadline now. Barring injury, those two are here. The Oilers have their team, and they want Holloway playing, and he's a first-round pick. He's got a heck of a future ahead of him. He's going to be a big part of the Oilers moving forward. I think if you're the Oilers, you're excited about it. You're excited to get him playing here down the stretch. So I'm excited about seeing Dylan Holloway. He's a great player at this level, and he's a good person. He's going to be fine. Sam Gagner is a guy who, they're probably going to bring up for the postseason, I would assume. I don't think he sticks around for a couple of weeks. I mean, he's at the tail end of his career here.
Right.
I don't think he's coming down, to just to play and stuff. He's playing to stay in shape. He's playing to get ready for the Oilers playoff run and be called upon if necessary. So two guys at vastly different points of their career, but two very good hockey players, especially here in the American League.
Let's go and talk about the importance of these 2-1 joining the Baco Birds, because it has not necessarily been the easiest week with losses to Coachella, Abbotsford, and San Diego, but the 4-0 over Henderson. So it's some mixed bag results since we talked last. Where do you see Holloway and Gagner coming in for that?
Yeah, I think Holloway will be here for the weekend. I think Gagner is going to meet us next week when we go to Abbotsford. So I think both players are big additions up front. Two guys who can kill penalties, two guys who can play on the power play. It's exciting. It's an exciting, bit to have, especially with guys like Hamlin and Bourgault out. Kajula got banged up the other day, so no Carter Savoy. So we needed to add some pieces, and you didn't know if you were ever going to be able to add pieces because in the AHL, you can't really retool your team, right? Like your team is your team. But adding those two is big. Big ones against Colorado, and we're right in the mix here. We're 4 points back of where we want to be. We have 2 games in hand. Colorado comes in as hot as anybody in the league right now. 2 big ones this weekend, and then a couple trips to Canada. Nothing gets easy here down the stretch, but it's an exciting time. It's a fun time of the year. We got 22 games left or whatever it is, and we're right in the mix.
Let's go and talk about the time ahead, because we were talking about the games at hand, where for a while there it was like we had a lot of games in hand. Now they're catching up to us right now. Some big things coming up, including, like you said, this weekend, back-to-back in Baco versus Colorado, which is a ton of opponent, and then heading to the other side of the border for 2 against Abbotsford. This is really kind of the gauntlet that the Baco Birds really need to be stepping up on.
Yeah. 10 of our 14 games here are on the road too. But when you look at it, after Colorado, 2 with Abbotsford, 2 with Calgary, you have 3 with Ontario to end the month. Those are the 3 teams right now that are battling for 3 and 4, along with Tucson, to kind of get home ice advantage in round 1. So, yes, it's a gauntlet, but the Condors are going to have everything in front of them, right? Like if you want a top 4 seed, go into Abbotsford and win at least 1 out of the 2. If you want a top 4 seed, get at least a split at home against Colorado. You can go into Calgary, 2 in Ontario. So I think when and 1 at home against Ontario, you want to be a top 4 team. You're going to get to play the teams that are in the top 4, and you win a game or 2 against them, and you pot yourself up. So big one against Colorado, because nobody's beating Colorado right now. Same with Coachella Valley. These 2 teams are starting to run away at the top of this thing, but Colorado comes in, they're red hot, and we play them well, which is good, but it's going to be a stiff test this weekend.
It's going to talk about the weekend games with the doubles with Colorado Friday and Saturday here in Baco. We got Energy Night, actually, I believe, happening on Saturday. So Bluey Night.
Yeah.
So if you have a kid who just lost their mind by hearing Bluey, just like Ryan does every single time he hears Bluey.
I like Bluey. Listen, like, in the pantheon of shows that I've watched over the last 3 years, Seinfeld's 1, Bluey's probably 2, and SportsCenter's 3, or sports in general is 3. Bluey Saturday night, so $15 gets you in, and that's a $15 ticket that you can go meet Bluey on the concourse. There's not like a special VIP ticket or anything like that. Get your pictures with Bluey. It's like seeing Santa, basically. So that's Saturday night, and if you have to, maybe get the dads out of the house, or kind of make a trade off, we have $2 beers Friday night. So $2 beers Friday night, and then Bluey on Saturday. Something for everyone this weekend. Should be 2 big crowds and a lot of fun.
And it's definitely a night in which we need all the Baco fans out there, because once again, this is really a couple games we need to get in hand right now.
Yeah, these are 2 big ones, and I mean, they're all big here down the stretch, but especially when you take on a team like Colorado, who you have an opportunity to gain ground on everybody, because Colorado's beaten everybody, right? So if you beat Colorado, you've gained 4 points on somebody. So it's a big weekend set, and hopefully 2 big crowds will the team on, and a couple additions, and goalies play well, and team plays well, and we get some points.
Hopefully see Holloway and Gagne out there, maybe.
Yeah, we'll for sure see Holloway. Gagne will be in Abbotsford, so
okay.
Some additions here coming down the stretch.
Gotcha. Well, we'll talk in Abbotsford next time when you and I connect up, right?
We will. If the internet works in Abbotsford, I'm more than willing to talk to you.
Well, I believe internet does work in Canada. That tends to be what we've had before. We'll see what happens this time. Or Ryan will be in a poutine haze and will not be able to join us.
We'll absolutely.
Ryan Holt for the Biggest of Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. Every single week we get you caught up on all things CondorsTown, as we do it once again with Energy 95.3 and your Condors connection. We'll catch you next time right here.